How's it going, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. Um, hey Rockstar, try this thought on for size. The author Jeff Lerner once said, "In today's world, you're defined by the things you say no to." Welcome to episode 83 of Hey Rockstar.
And Miguel, do the thing, yo.
One, two, three. One, two, three. Let's go.
Hey Rockstar, welcome. This is a show devoted to bringing value to those interested in starting a side hustle or side business. Whether you're looking to be dual vocational, full-time, part-time, or sometime, I bet our stories will entertain you, encourage you, and empower you to become the rock star of your business and industry.
Woo, I was in the middle of sending out invites and telling people that the show is live and just getting it all going for everyone who is joining us. Thank you, everyone who's taking time watching us live on. We have Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And also, for those of you who got the special invitation to go backstage and watch the program through the backstage broadcast way here on what's it called? On Instagram. I just realized I gotta mute this because I don't I don't want too much background noise. Mute that. And what else needs to be muted? And all right, we're all muted now. Good. We're good to go. Welcome to episode 83, How to Escape a Pyramid Scam. I'm sure you're interested to learn more about that. I'm gonna take off these glasses so you can see my eyes, so you can see the sincerity in in my talk today. Let me take a sip of my coffee. I want to say a special shout out to all of you who have been following uh, on my social media and noticed that I've been putting in a lot more reels. I finally figured out how to use StreamYard to pull out clips of past episodes, and so it's taking time to go and pull out wisdom, but I want to share them on a daily basis, at least 2, maybe 3 a day. So content is coming your way from the past, wisdom from my guests, from myself, from the past. We're just sharing it to inspire you, because as you know, Rockstar, Hey Rockstar is being rebranded. We are here for those of you who are interested in starting a side hustle or side business, whether you want to be full-time, part-time, or sometime. We have stories. My guests bring their stories of triumph, of challenges, of lessons they've learned of starting their own businesses, because we want to give you the tools. We want to give you just the code if you want to put it the code, but more than importantly, we want to bring you the inspiration you need to go and launch your business. So come back, and you will find encouragement, you will find entertainment, you will find empowerment to go and become the rock star of your business and industry. So let's talk about today. I've been mulling all this over. I was talking to my nephew. My nephew, shout out to him. He's young. He's a young buck, but he's learned how to push himself out there through not Twitter. He uses Discourse. The younger kids use Discourse, and through his experience in doing video and gaming and editing, and he said he just jumped on YouTube and learned how to edit, and then he practiced it, and then he promoted himself, and he got a few business people who said, "Hey, edit my video for me," and he was able to make a few $100 in a day or two. And like, I was just encouraged because he's up and coming and coming up with creative ways to make income on his own. But I was telling him, we're bouncing off ideas. So I was telling him, I want to start creating more content, but I also have a lot of content in the past that I just need to get it out and recycle and share with other people. But we were talking about, he's like, "Hey, have you tried to do a video that's very, what's the word he used? That is very, I don't want to say in your face, but he said it's just, oh, that's very conflict causing, like something that will cause people to get mad or just, conflict. And I like, well, I have an idea, and it has to do with a pyramid scheme, a pyramid scam. I had an idea for a book once. I was gonna call it "It Took a Scam to Get Me Rich." The book title's like, ooh, it popped out at you, but basically, oh man, I'm going off topic. Let me just go and rant and go off topic, and then I'll come back. Oh, by the way, I just see that we got comments on here. The rules of the game are: if you put comments that are going with the conversation, I will gladly highlight you during the conversation. But if it's just a hello or whatever, and can't be useful, I'll probably try to, or not can't be useful, but isn't with topic. I'll try to get them all at the end. But first of all, welcome Tony. Welcome back to my show. And yes, encouragement and confidence is needed. Yeah. Especially if you want to start a business. If you don't know where to begin, I encourage you to check out the past episodes, at least the last two guests that I have since I rebranded Hey Rockstar. The focus has been to tell their story of their hustle, of their business, and where they're going. We explored their challenges when they first started. We also explored, what big lessons they've learned, and most importantly, we shared what big dreams we have. Those are things that you, as a entrepreneur, those are the lifeblood of inspiration, the lifeblood of what you're going to do. You need to learn. Well, first of all, you need to learn how to problem solve. You need to learn lessons, grow from those lessons, and then of course you need to have a bigger vision towards where you're going the next year, But anyway, today we're going to be talking about pyramids. We're going to be talking about have you ever? Let me just open up this way. Have you ever had someone show up to you and invite you to one of them pyramid things? Oh wait, no, just kidding. Now, when people ask me, "Are you in a pyramid thing?" I gotta ask them. I just gotta retaliate. Say, "Well, what do you mean? Define a pyramid for me." And normally they'll say, "Well, it's one of those things where you come in and there's people above you, and if you want to make more money, you got to put people underneath you, and you got to grow it, and that's the way. And at the end, though, you wind up making the most money while the people at the bottom make the least amount of money." And I'm like, you mean a job? Anyway, let's talk about that. So let's talk about past pyramids that I've been involved in and reasons why I got out. I'm not gonna mention any names of these companies because to begin with, anything. Okay, I gotta make a definite. Gotta let you understand the difference between a pyramid and a pyramid scam. A pyramid scam is a lot of money going through, but there's no product or service or anything being offered. It's just come in, give me money, money goes up, when you bring someone else, give money, but there's never anything definite going through. Those are illegal. However, if you stop to think about it, every business, every employment, everything you've ever worked in is set up in a pyramid. Check this out. I was gonna wait till the end to show this video, but this video popped up and I loved it. Let's see. Boom. Actually, let's make it bigger. Boom. I'm not gonna play the audio because I don't want to get banned, but check this out. You've seen this one. The worker gets paid the most. He does the most work and he gets paid the least. The manager, he gets paid about the same as the worker, but he works less. The boss gets paid more and he kind of works a little bit more than the manager, but he's there. However, the owner, the person at the very top of the pyramid, he gets money. He gets more money. And he's still not doing that much work, if at all any work, because he owns the company. He owns the pyramid. Now, I don't want to offend anyone, because if you are a W-2 employee, you are in a pyramid. Most people, and it's been bred in us. We've gone to school. We go to school for 12 years to teach us all how to be good first tier pyramid people, participants. We'll go on pyramid participants. And of course, if you work hard and you prove hard, you can move on to the next level. But here's how it's a scam. Now, it's not, I'm saying it's bad, illegal. I'm just saying it's the scam. The only way that the person at the first tier, I can't make this loop. Okay. The only way that the person at the first tier can move up to the next tier is if there's an opening in this tier. So basically, this person, it's very rare for them to move up a level. So usually people in this area, they wind up either passing away or quitting or getting fired to create that vacuum space, so that then now you can move up after someone else comes in to take your place. And the only way you can move up is if someone comes and takes your place in the pyramid. And of course, eventually, I'm not saying it's impossible, but yes, eventually as a manager, you can eventually become the boss, especially if the same thing happens. Boss retires, the boss retires or expires, gets fired. Man, they all rhyme. The boss retires, the boss expires, the boss gets fired. Then finally the manager can possibly move up. But it's usually 2 or 3 managers fighting for that business, or the owner could know someone totally different from a different pyramid and pull them over. And see how that's kind of a scam? But here's the interesting part is the pyramid you're in, no matter how good it is, no matter how awesome it is, the truth be told, it's not your pyramid. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a loyal person, and all the pyramids I've been through high school. One was a retail pyramid. One was a one was a restaurant pyramid. I got another retail pyramid. Heck, I even got into an educational pyramid. I know most of you guys are not liking that. In case you haven't figured out what I mean by pyramid, I mean job. Work, business. All right, let's just get that cat out of the bag. But let's look at it for what it is. It's not good, or I'm not saying it's good or bad. It is what it is. But I'm just kind of putting you in that limelight, in how you can see that. But no matter how good these pyramids were for me, and I enjoyed them when I first came in. I mean, first of all, there's a need. I need to get paid because I like food. I like paying for gas. I like being able to pay for my apartment, or at the time, and I like those kind of things. So I had to find a pyramid that would entice me enough to trade in my physical strength, my abilities to come and spend time with them to help make money for the pyramid at the price that I agreed to. Because they don't tell me I have to take that pyramid, that position, that pyramid. They offer me a price. They will give you this much if you want it. And some people who know their boundaries, who know their worth, they say no. Some people, we need a job, we need to work, so we like, hey, I'll take whatever, and we jump in at the first opportunity. And of course, I believe that some people need to start, especially if you have no skills, you need to start somewhere, and you start learning and building those skills and start becoming the best version of yourself. You start developing, you start just learning leadership, you learn communication, you learn responsibilities, and of course, eventually, if you take ownership, if you really, really love your pyramid, go for it. Work your way up that pyramid, baby. Work your way up that pyramid. But no matter how good that pyramid is, unfortunately, usually the owner or investor, you will never become that as easy as it would be to become a manager or a boss in that pyramid. Because it's someone else's dream, someone else's vision, it's someone else's goal. Now, eventually, when you start playing the different game and you learn how it's easier to start at the top rather than the bottom, and you've learned to leverage money, leverage experience, leverage opportunities, leverage your connections, then maybe you can become a person who owns pyramids. You can be the person. You can become an investor, or someone who invests into higher percentage of a certain pyramid, and then you have ownership. Now you can do what this guy does at the top. Just let the money come in. And hey, why not? If we're all supposed to be jumping into different pyramids, if that's how capitalism, or that's how economics work here in this country, then why not start at the top? And then you can call the shots. You can say, you know what? I want to be a fair pyramid owner. I want to be a fair pharaoh. I want to treat my pyramid participants with respect, and I want to give them all of the earnings. I want every money that comes in, it goes straight to them, and I'll explain to my family why we're not eating. Anyway, nah, I'm not getting to that. I'm not again. Why not? That's why I'm encouraging it. I know 2 or 3 people who are working part time at the lower level of different pyramids. They got 4 to 5 different part time pyramid positions because bills are getting way too expensive, and they need to figure out what's going on, or they need to figure out how to pay it. And unfortunately, here's the sad part, and here's where I'm playing around with the words, but it comes off as a scam because some people go through 12 years being told that you need to start at the bottom of the pyramid. That's why they teach you to be obedient. That's why they teach you to be submissive. That's why they teach you to say yes, to wake up early, to show up on time, to get the project, the homework done, to get it all in there, because they're conditioning us to be the best bottom tier pyramid participants. It is what it is. Matter of fact, they say go, and then some people 12 years ain't enough, so they go for another 4 years to get a degree, or some people 8 years or more, depending on where they want to be, because all of it's in the hopes of finding a better position in a pyramid that they're interested in of participating in. And again, if that is your dream, that is your goal, some people might wake up and say, heck, I want to be the boss, the boss babe, the boss boy. I want to be the boss of this pyramid, and go for it. You can work your way to become the boss. But most places will always start you at the bottom tier. So you got to start there. You got to cut your teeth. You got to prove your worth and move it on up. And so here's what I'm saying. Here's where it's a scam, because we are taught this, and so we think that's the only way to function is starting at the bottom, and therefore we spend the best time of our lives, our youth, our strength at the bottom. And then finally we make it up to the manager position. I'm sorry, let me go back to me. We make it to the next level. And then we stay there and we're faithful. And here's the funny thing, or not the funny thing, the sad thing. Sometimes, even if you're good at your position in the pyramid, things happen. And when stuff like 2020 happens, the first people to go is the bottom tier of that pyramid. I found that out. I found out just how essential I was when 2020 hit. And I found myself looking for another pyramid. I found a laboratory, a dental lab pyramid that kept me afloat. And then I found an education pyramid, which that I was at the very, very bottom of this level. I mean, I was a guest educator, going in there and helping out, substitute teacher. And but the cool thing is, because they found value in what I brought and I was able to help, that pyramid eventually reached out to me and said, hey, we got a next tier level that we can bring you in if you're interested in. But I can only go so far because I didn't go to school for that. I didn't get the right caliber, or I didn't get the right degrees that I needed to go to level up on that pyramid. And eventually, when they wanted to renew my contract, because I'm thankful though that they were able to find someone who was passionate about that and wanted to continue on, because they said, you know what, we want to keep you at the same amount of hours, we want to keep you the same amount of strength, except we're gonna drop how much we want to pay to keep you around. And I'm like, I appreciate it, but I need to move forward. And thankfully I moved forward and got involved. I stopped being a bottom tier participant and got into the world of independent contractor work, which I kind of already did that with production. But I learned the skills. I started learning skills about being high in demand, and that's when I learned the high ticket sales skills. And that opened up a door of opportunity and joining. But even though I was working for other companies, I was kind of in charge of my time, so that kind of gave me flexibility. Because here's one thing that I don't like about having to participate in another person's pyramid. To participate in another person's pyramid, first of all, your time is not your own. You got to show up when they tell you to show up. You got to stay for as long as they tell you to stay, because and you only get paid what y'all both agreed to. Now, here's the interesting thing that I found when I was in. I'm not gonna say which one. I was in one pyramid, and I was okay with the pay because I had agreed to it. I said yes, I will gladly give you my strength and my time for this amount that's agreed upon. And other people in the same pyramid, when I started getting to hang out with them and spend time with them, because I'm a friendly guy, people love to invite me to go do stuff because I'm fun. I'm a fun guy. And we go out, we go check out the town and do stuff, but they would open up and they would eventually start just talking about, like, dang it, I want more money. I want more money. They're not giving us more money. And their mindset, here's where I didn't quite agree with them. They said, we need more money, so we need to force the pyramid to give us more money. And I guess that's one way. We need to argue, we need to whatever, until this pyramid that belongs to someone else agrees to give me more money. And my thought process was, well, I agreed to this much. So why am I trying to argue for more? If I want more money, then instead of forcing the pyramid that's probably only making so much to give me more money, why don't I just find another opportunity? Why don't I just find another pyramid that will pay me more for my worth, my value? So instead of trying to force someone to do something different, to pay me more, I started adding skills and value to me and became a more valuable participant. And then I joined a different pyramid that paid me more. Or look for offers. And of course now I own my pyramid. Now I own my business. Now I own my time. I own my life. I get to say when I go to sleep, when I wake up, which I don't know. Lately, for those of you who are following my stories, you know that I'm attempting a 5-day fast again. And in my fast, I do coffee, no sugar, no cream, and I do tea. I haven't done tea yet, and I do water with a pinch of sodium in it to help me stay hydrated, and I use pink Himalayan salt so it keeps the minerals in there that I need, and the electrolytes that I need. Because I found out that in the past when I fasted more than 3 days and just stay with pure water, I wind up my body just flushes. The water will take whatever's in there and flush the minerals and such. So I need to keep that going. But anyway, said all that. Whenever I fast, it does mess with my sleeping schedule. Like, I don't require as much sleep apparently whenever I don't eat. And so last night was just a weird. I went to bed before midnight, which is a surprise. And I stayed in bed, even though my body, I just couldn't go to sleep. But I kept my eyes closed the whole time, like, no, you gotta fall asleep, Finally, around 2 or 3 in the morning, I finally got out of bed and, like, let's just do some reading. I actually started doing some editing after that. And I got some work done, and then finally around 5-ish, I think, finally my body's like, okay. Anyway, so I'll say that. The beauty is I can do that. I'm flexible enough to do that because I own my own schedule. I am the master of my pyramid. I'm the pharaoh of my time. And so this whole show, and I'm not gonna go long, I just wanted to encourage you and get you to think differently. Pyramids are not bad. Actually, pyramids are the way businesses are run. There are different types of pyramid. There are different types of opportunities out there. There are different types of ways to make an income. Some people, they choose to be independent or to have their own companies. I'm sorry, to be, what's the word? Self-employed. There we go. Self-employed. Which I like that Robert Kiyosaki says, self-employed people are really just people who own their own job. And I can't judge them, because I know there's some business owners I'm bringing in that a lot of their work is dependent on them being present. Like, if they're not there, they can't work, they can't serve, they can't get paid. And I've done that too. I've done independent contracting, especially when it comes to media. Back in Nashville, I got involved in production, and I was freelancing as I started as a stagehand. Then I became an AV tech, and all this stuff that, the more skills you had, the more they'll pay you per hour. And in the way I could say yes or no to certain things. But here's one to certain projects and productions. But here's one thing that I remember thinking to myself, and these are just my thoughts, and this is why I know I think very different. But I remember, especially in the entertainment pyramid, and I started off as a stagehand, and I worked my way up to a technical director. That leveling up, I went up on that pyramid, and but we had certain events that required way more hands that we had available, so we partnered up with the union, the local union, the local 46. And I started there. I actually worked with them. Whenever I was freelancing, I started with them. I love those people. They're some great people. They're hardworking people. And I've learned so much, especially when I was green and brand new. And I would just partner up, and they would share with me skills and tricks and things. And I love that. And they had such a strong family tie. Like, everyone knew each other in the local, in the union, the stagehand union. But I remember one particular person where I think it was the Phantom of the Opera. I came in, and I was working along with them, and one of the supervisors they put above our group, I was working with them, and I was just chatting with them, like, hey, I'm not gonna mention his name, but like, hey, we'll call him Jay. Hey, Jay, how long you been doing this? The stagehand, the local 42, 46, and he's like, oh man, I've been at it for about 30 years. And I could see this. He's an older man. He's good as done, but he's not as quick. He's like, physically, I could see the wear and tear in his body of 30 years of doing this. Because I was at at that time I was only 1 year, 2 years, and I said to myself, this business is fun. It's entertaining. I love it, but I do not want to spend more than 5 years physically taxing my body for this. As fun as it is, that is not the life I want to live. So I'm already thinking, like, I need an exit strategy. This is great skills to learn, great way to stay in shape. I didn't even have a gym membership when I worked in stagehand work, because I knew every day was going to be a physical labor, physically taxing day, and so I just that's how I managed. But watching him, and said, nothing against him, because I think you had to be with him at least 20 years to be able to get some kind of retirement. And the union, the local union, they took care of their people, especially when you get to that age, and they help out a lot. So nothing against them, and that's your choice. Anyway, all that to say, it goes back to you and what you want, what you really want. Because some people, they love being the master of their ship, but they also like to be the person who does the actual service. I want to keep myself part-time when it comes to business, because I have so much other things that I'm invested in, especially when the speaking, or when it comes to doing some ministry, or when it comes to helping others. And the best way that I learned is to find a pyramid, a business that allows me to bring people in, to train them, to have to get them going and get them compensated well, and teach them how to become leaders, and then grow a team. Because I want to start, if you think about it, every business is built that way. The owner can't do it all, so he has to hire bosses, and the bosses hire managers, and the managers get to bring in the bottom tier, or even part-time bottom tier of the pyramid, because that's the way the business is run. The person with the vision wants to create something big. Now sometimes it's cool, because sometimes the visionary, the business owner, started off at the bottom with a passion project. He started with just what he had. Because we tell everyone, start where you're at. Figure out what you're good at. Figure out what makes you different than everyone else that you can capitalize on. And start offering that service to people. What will people gladly pay you for your expertise in? What will people gladly give you money because you save them money or you save them time to do it? The very first, no, it's not even a pyramid. My very first job, work. I was once in, I guess it was just a young adults meetup, a church thing, and they had icebreaker. They had like a little quiz that you took and those icebreaker questions. And the very first question put on there was, "What was the very first job you ever had?" And, instinctually, I thought about the first pyramid I jumped into, which was a local clothing store in Little Andrews. And I said, I remember going in there, applying for that job, and because I was like a junior in high school, and I was already driving, and I needed gas money, and I needed to go out to eat with the girls money. I needed to go to the city with my best friends and spend money, that kind of stuff. So I found a pyramid that I could apply for, and I had a friend who was working at this pyramid, so he got me in. He wrote me into the pyramid, and I was gonna write that down because I remember most of my pyramid opportunities. I started like in the back, like stock boy, like receiving and shipping, and then because I'm such a personality, I'm such an approachable person, and because I'm bilingual, normally within a few months they're pulling me out from the back and putting me in the front because I can work with people, I can talk with people, I can help people. But I like being in the back because in the back you can just be yourself. But when you have to start working in the front, then you have to kind of dress up a little bit the part, be nicer, especially in retail pyramids. But I never made it past manager because usually an event in life happened and I wound up moving towns. And all the jobs I ever left all the pyramids I ever left was because I was usually leaving my town and moving to college. I remember when I started going to college in Midland, and then I started working at the pyramid there, and then when I moved went to school in Dallas, and even there I did a restaurant pyramid. And again, the restaurant pyramid, I applied to be the bottom tier person in the kitchen, in the back, just because like I know a little bit. I want to learn the skills. I didn't want to be in the front, but eventually because I'm bilingual, they moved me as like the head position in the kitchen. And I think the only reason they put me there is because I was the middle guy between the managers and the rest of the cook staff that only spoke Spanish. So I was able to manage them at least, even though just that skill alone gave me priority over older people who only spoke Spanish. But anyway, and then eventually they like, oh man, you're such a person. Because I was going to school at the time, and I remember, this is just a random story. I remember one time there was a problem because you're only allowed to cook so much chicken in total. You're only allowed to have so much left over at the end of the day. But this was like a quota. But it wasn't just shared by my staff, which was the afternoon, also the morning staff. And by the time I would get there, usually the morning staff had filled it up to this much, and I had to figure out how to not have so much left over at the end of the day, because then that would affect our lunch. Because when we had a lot of chicken left over, people couldn't just eat what they wanted. They had to eat chicken salad sandwich because that's what we used to make chicken salad sandwich. Anyway, sandwiches. And so people would get tired of it. So I came up with a response. I talked to my manager. I was like, hey, I have an idea on how to keep our quota low if you allow me. And they're like, sure. And so I played football at my college, and I remember on days that the morning crew kind of passed their quota they're in, and I'm like, all right, I would make a few calls and during my break and let my friends know, hey, come to this pyramid, come to my fast food pyramid, and at this time, like a half hour before close, and whatever we have in abundance, I'll let you know and order that. And sure enough, a group of my friends from college, mainly footballers who came with an appetite, would show up, and then whatever we had abundance of, I would say, be sure to order this, and they would order the smallest, and they would order the smallest, cheapest thing they could find, but I would pack that thing with a lot of it. And then sometimes I would throw in extra fries just because they were good. And my managers were cool because I brought down the quota. I solved that problem, but I didn't take advantage of this. I only did this whenever the morning crew went past their quota, and I knew it's gonna be hard. So anyway, problem solving. But anyway, so much that they wanted to move me to the front and do cash register and meet with people, and I tried it, but I'm like, I have fun in the kitchen. Anyway, moving on. This has been a story about pyramids and how I escaped the pyramid. Here's how you escape a pyramid scam. Now, be careful, because once this happens, once they realize that you are not bottom participant pyramid material, they're gonna attack you. They're gonna be mean to you because you're gonna do something that they're not doing. You're gonna be escaping where they don't want to escape, and they don't understand it. But the first thing you need to do, and I kind of highlighted this or just shared a bit, the first important thing you need to know is you need to have a different mindset. You need to get out of that mindset of the only way to make money is going to a 9 to 5 pyramid. You need to start learning new skills. You need to take every opportunity to develop leadership potential, because the only way you can escape that is if you go out there and build your own pyramid. Now, don't get me wrong, this is only if you're not satisfied where you're at right now. If you're happy, if you said, this is my ride or die pyramid, this pharaoh is where I'm going to plant my flag and I'm going to follow them till the end, then by all means, great, because the whole point in life is to find something that you're good at. Like I quoted Myron Golden last time, I think it was last time, maybe 2 shows ago, that to abide in your creative space, to make this world a better place, is your purpose. To abide in your creative space and make this world a better place is your purpose. If you find satisfaction where you're at right now, if you find happiness, fulfillment, if you are just loving it, then stay where you're at. I'm talking to those who are not happy or just not satisfied and want more, want something different, want to be in charge of the time. You want to know when to get out, or you want to choose your own hours. You want to be around your family more. You want to be around your pets a little bit more. You want to bring more that you can give, or you just want to make so much that you can help fund your favorite charity, your church, or whatever you want to give. I'm talking to those people. It all starts with changing the way you think, realizing that the 9 to 5 pyramid under someone else is not necessarily the only way to make a substantial living. The next thing you need to do is start surrounding yourself with people who think the same way. I remember one of my mentors, Taylor Welsh, back when I was in the sales, he said the fastest way to upgrade your life is to upgrade your friends. Another friend of mine used to say, you need to learn how to friend up. There's another quote. You are the equivalent of the 5 people you spend time with. Show me how much your friends are making, and I'll tell you how much you're making. You see, you need to start hanging around with people who are visionaries. If you want to get out of that pyramid, then you need to hang out with people who got out of the pyramid. If you want a better life, then you need to hang out with people who have developed and created a better life for them and their families. You want to be inspired. You want to share ideas. You want them to pull you up. Don't pull them down. You want them to pull you up. Of course, if you're working on your mindset, if you're working on feeding yourself with wisdom, with value, with things that you can with things that are greater, thoughts that are greater, then by all means you will not pull down your friends. They will pull you up, especially if you already surround yourself with those. Another way to say that is to find people who've done what you want to do and follow their footsteps. And then the third thing that you need to, because the first one is start changing your mindset, start changing what you do, change what you change what you're consuming, change the people you associate with, you surround yourself with, and then of course the last one is take a chance. No matter how crazy it is, try it out. You don't have to do the big plunge. You don't have to go up to the pharaoh tomorrow or a sub pharaoh tomorrow and say, "Hey, I'm out. I'm done," because it's scary. You don't want to be unemployed. You don't want to be having. You don't want to be making no money today in this economy, especially the way things are going. However, you can start with a part-time business. You can start with a part-time hustle. You can start looking and learning and figuring out, all right, I can do this. What would it look like to do this maybe on the weekends only, or whenever, or in the evenings, part-time, to start, to get your feet wet, to figure out, okay, this is for me. Okay, this is not for me. All right, that's all right. Well, what else? What other hustles are out there? What other businesses out there? What other pyramids can I start out there? There are literally so many different opportunities out there. It's just you got to find one that sticks with you. Now, me personally, I like to, when I want to get involved in something, I like to get in something that's duplicatable. I want to look at something that has great results and is really needed. And most importantly, I like to find a place that has a strong community, people who will, even when it's not going good for me, when I'm just not I'm at the bottom of the barrel, I want to give up, but I'm surrounded. There's a community of people who are going with me, and there's a lot of support communities. However, I'm gonna go ahead and end this talk for those of you who are joining. If you're interested in starting a part-time hustle, if you're interested in just learning leadership skills, or you're learning all these things, come back to the show. Tell your friends about this. We're gonna have so many other guests that are gonna bring value to your life. But of course, if you want to have more one-on-one time with me, there is a way to do that. Reach out to me. Send me a message on either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn and YouTube. Send a message to me, and if I don't respond with that, then probably, I respond faster if you were to send me a direct message on either not Facebook. Facebook sends it off to like a spam folder that I don't even, I check it out once every 6 months or so. So maybe Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me, or just right here. Jump in the next show and start writing your comments, and I will be able to. Actually, LinkedIn would be the best way that I actually can respond quicker. I've been able to see those messages quicker, pop up notifications. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been episode 83, How to Escape a Pyramid Scam Again. It's not for everyone. It's for those who don't want to have to work 3 to 4 part-time pyramids, and you're ready to be owner of your life, make what you need, go out there, take an opportunity. Again, just have faith, find the right people, take that chance, take that risk, and you will succeed. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been 83, How to Escape a Pyramid Scam. I'm your host, Josafat El Guapo Emiliano. If you want anything, just reach out to me. So much going. I invite you to come back to the show again and again. Pull the value, because we're trying hard to share stories, to bring you entertainment, to bring you encouragement, and to bring you empowerment to go and become the rock star of your business and industry. So all the way from Andrews, America today, just letting you know this has been a great time. Let's see, the last one, Tony said something else. Let me just highlight what Tony said. Yes, many times. I almost fall for it. Until next time, much love and many blessings.